talked about land strikes happening soon. Is there anything at this point that can prevent that? And is the objective, if you make that decision?
Well, I don't want to say that, but it's not only land strikes on Venezuela. It's land strikes on horrible people.
On seizing more oil assets from Venezuela and
Well,
other
I
tankers?
wouldn't tell you that. I mean, it wouldn't be very smart for me to tell you that. You know, we're supposed to be a little bit secretive. You're a very big-time reporter, and I don't think I want to tell a big-time reporter or a small-time reporter that. But we are knocking out drugs at levels that nobody's ever seen before. We knocked out 96% of the drugs coming in by water. And nobody can figure out who the 4%. I wouldn't want to be the 4% either, but 96% of the drugs coming in by water. Every one of those boats you see get shot down, you just saved 25,000 American lives. But we knocked out 96% of the drugs coming in by water, and now we're starting by land, and by land is a lot easier. And that's going to start happening. And we're not going to have people destroying our youth, destroying our families. Forget about youth, everybody. You ever see a family with the fentanyl or cocaine? Colombia has at least 3 cocaine factories. That's a different country. We're not happy about it, but we're stopping it. And we've stopped it now on water. You don't even find boats on water. You don't even see fishing boats on water. You want to go fishing in that area? Does anybody want to go fishing in that area? I don't think so. So I just want to say this. We have now a strong border. A year and a half ago, we had millions of people pouring through. Now we have nobody coming in through our border. And we have a strong country. We have a country that's respecting it. We're going to keep it that way. And we're not going to let people kill 300,000 people a year with drugs.
Is there anything at this point that can prevent that? And is the objective, if you make that decision?
Well, I don't want to say that, but it's not only land strikes on Venezuela. It's land strikes on horrible people that are bringing in drugs and killing our people. You know, if we were in a war and we lost 300,000 people in a year, because that's what the real number is. It's not 100. You know, you keep hearing 100. And it's a lot worse than that because the families are devastated when they lose their child. If we were in a war and we lost 2 or 300,000, but I think it's more than 300,000, and that's a war. That's like a war that would be unparalleled. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. And that's what's happening. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in Venezuela. It's people that are bringing in drugs to our country are targets.
China, Russia in action against American military move off Venezuela. Putin, Xi explode against Trump military's oil tanker move. Maduro gets Putin support. China denounces American action. Tensions mount as U.S. hints at more action against Venezuela.
China firmly opposes illegal unilateral sanctions and long-arm jurisdiction that lack a basis in international law and are not authorized by the UN Security Council. We oppose the abuse of sanctions. We have taken note of the relevant reports. All parties should abide by the principles of market economy and fair competition and work together to safeguard the stability of global production and supply chains. We have noted that this positive measure facilitates the movement of people and serves the common interests of all parties. China is willing to maintain communication and consultation with India to continuously enhance the level of exchanges and greening between the two countries, safeguarding national sovereignty. The highest principle of one country, two systems is to safeguard national sovereignty, security, and development interests. The central government firmly supports the Hong Kong SAR in lawfully safeguarding national security and punishing crimes that endanger national security.
A high-stakes phone call held between Vladimir Putin and Nicolas Maduro amid as Washington ramps up pressure on Venezuela. Kremlin confirmed that the Russian president reached out to the Venezuelan leader, reaffirming Moscow's strategic backing for Caracas, just as tensions spike following U.S. military activity in the Caribbean. According to Russia media, both leaders emphasized the need to accelerate joint economic and energy projects already in motion. These initiatives, from oil to wider trade economic cooperation, fall under the newly implemented Russia-Venezuela Treaty on Strategic Partnership and cooperation, which came into effect last year. Reports also said that Putin expressed solidarity with the Venezuela as Washington intensifies pressure on Caracas. The U.S. has carried out strikes in the Caribbean Sea, claiming it is targeting drug cartel networks linked to Venezuela. Allegations President Maduro has forcefully rejected as fabricated. Kremlin statement said Putin reaffirmed support for Maduro's policies to safeguard national interests and sovereignty. Both sides agreed to push forward joint projects in energy, finance, and humanitarian spheres, all expanded under existing OPEC+ and bilateral mechanisms. The call underscores an escalating geopolitical divide. As the U.S. expands its footprint in the Caribbean, Russia and Venezuela deepen defense, energy, and diplomatic collaboration. For Moscow, Caracas remains one of its most crucial partners in the Western Hemisphere. For Venezuela, Putin's outreach signals continued political cover and a counterweight to U.S. influence.
According to Trump's statements, he promised to resolve another conflict, this time between North Korea and South Korea. How does the Kremlin assess the prospects for ending this conflict?
We are ready to welcome any steps in this direction. Venezuela is a sovereign state, and in any case, we proceed from the fact that everything happening around Venezuela should occur in accordance with the spirit and letter of international law.